Oh, hey guys. Didn't know you were watching already. Hold on, let me set this down and give you a proper intro. Hey guys, sorry about that. Welcome back to this classic 1974 Honda XL70 project we got going on here. I suppose after what you just witnessed, you could say things have escalated a little bit and quite quickly. We decided to go ahead and we're going to do a full frame off restoration.
Minimum for a frame off restoration, you can expect to spend about $5,000 in labor. That's at $90 an hour. Expect to spend about $5,000 on labor plus parts.
So we went ahead and pulled the engine out. I just wanted to kind of freshen things up a little bit on the engine and just make it easier to clean that frame up as well. A little word of advice: before you go to pull one of these engines out, if you are planning on pulling the side covers, I recommend that you loosen the screws on the side covers while the engine is still mounted in the frame. It makes it quite a bit easier because occasionally you got to put quite a bit of torque on those screws to get them loose, and it's really, really difficult if you've got the engine out of the frame. And I also want to mention that when you work with the screws on these old Hondas, they're not a standard Phillips screw like you're going to get at your local Home Depot when you go to buy screwdrivers. You're going to have to get some special screwdrivers, and they're called JIS screwdrivers, Japanese Industrial Standard. And I don't care who tells you different, they are different. They are not the same as a standard, as what we know as an American Phillips screw. A standard American Phillips screwdriver will just basically back itself out of the screw head when you try to loosen it, whereas these are actually profiled correctly to fit in those screws. I'll drop a link in the description for the ones I use. They're relatively inexpensive, all things considered. So we're going to do a few different projects today. We're going to work on the tins, we're going to work on some plastics. So with that being said, let me go ahead and I'm going to show you the first project we're going to do, which is some repair on the plastic side covers. So let me get everything set up for you and we'll get right into that. All right, guys, getting onto the side cover repair job we're going to do here. You know, these are not unobtainium. You can actually purchase reproductions. They're the same side covers as the SL70s as well. I want to preserve this original paint as much as possible, so we're going to do what we have to do to get these things back in shape. Our shop supervisor and parts manager over here, Richard, he tried ordering new ones, and I told him to just hold off a little bit. He don't like old stuff. He likes new stuff, so he ain't getting it this time. But we got both of these have some cracks in them. You can see this one here. It's got a crack in the bottom area. Other than that, it's good. This other one here has got a crack up in this area right here, which is kind of a critical area because that's one of the attachment points. So I'm pretty confident we can get these repaired from the backside fairly easily. So I'm going to turn you around on the camera here so you can watch me work for a little bit with one of my fancy new tools that I just recently purchased. Okay guys, here's where the magic happens. I don't have any magic, it's just this little gizmo I've got off of Amazon. They call it a plastic welding gun. There's no welding going on here, but I'd like to call it a plastic hot staple gun. How's that? Full disclaimer, I've never used one of these before, but I am a graduate of YouTube University with multiple master's degrees in how to operate one of these things. So I'm fairly confident that, you know, this is going to go well, or so we hope. I'm going to bring you in here close so you can really see what's going on. Now this comes with a pretty good supply of staples that you can use in this little compartment here. I'm going to drop a link in the description as well for this one. I'm going to tell you, if you decide to buy this off Amazon, do not buy the orange one. I bought the orange one first and it was dead on arrival. I even went so far as I took it apart thinking that surely I could fix it, and I couldn't find anything wrong with it other than just a major failure all around. So I picked up this blue one. here. It even has a little stand, kind of cool. I've already tested it to the point that I know that at least it heats up. So let me go ahead and see how my double master's degrees pay off here. I'm going to start out with something like this. If you can see that, it's kind of a squiggly looking deal. And I'm also going to start with the easiest, probably the most easiest one to fix. So from what I learned through my studies, obviously you don't want to burn these all the way through to the other side. That's the whole purpose of putting them in from the back side. And I've also heard that once you get them kind of where you want them, give them a little twist and let off the heat, and that should lock them into place. So you can see I've got the crack here. I'm going to start in the middle just because I want to kind of get it locked into place. I'm holding it together, and I'm going to heat this thing up, and here we go. Whoop, oh, that was a failure. Try that again. And there we go. Try another one. I'm thinking I didn't get that one down in there far enough. And it is locking it together, slowly but surely. Just got to be really careful because it appears to be super easy to burn through the other side. Now granted, this is almost 50-year-old plastic, so that doesn't help the cause any. But you get the idea. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put you on a quick time lapse. There's no reason to have you sit here and watch me do all this in real time, but I'm going to let you watch it either way. All right, guys, that's a wrap. And you can see, fixed her right up. I'll get this straightened out a little bit here with some other stuff we're going to do later on. But yeah, that pretty much does it. Takes care of those. This tool is also good for you ATC guys, ATV guys with broken plastic fenders. You don't want to buy new ones right now. You know, maybe it's a rider or whatever. So works really good. It just takes a little bit of studying on YouTube University and a little trial and error. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next step here. All right, guys, moving on to the fenders in the tank as part of this project. This is original paint, guys. It's like an orange bronze color. Yeah, you know, maybe candy topaz orange if you actually know what you're talking about when it comes to Hondas.
And the paint is original on this. This is original, like orange bronze color.
But you know, let me tell you guys, these are original steel fenders and steel tank.
These are, guys, these are steel. These are steel fenders. Steel tank. Back when things were made to last.
Hey, look at this. I mean, look. That's steel, guys. So I'm gonna do a little magic on these fenders in the tank with some some sandpaper and some water, and we're gonna preserve the patina. But I don't know if you can hear this, but listen to this tank when you shake it. That isn't nuts and bolts to clean it out. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna change scenes here, and we're gonna jump into this tank and see what we can do with it. Hopefully we can save it. It does not appear to have any rust through externally, so wish me luck. Okay guys, here we go. You're seeing it here for the first time. We're gonna break the seal on this cap and see what comes out of it. I went ahead and got my trusty Harbor Freight bucket, as you can see, and we're gonna go see what we can do here. It's looking, that's a good thing I put gloves on, because I think there may be some biohazard in there. Here we go. That smells really good too. If you're into that sort of a 40-year-old gas thing. I think we've got her. Oh, I hear some crunchies in there. Let's see if we can get those. Ah, there they are. All right. Okay, this is probably hands down the worst gas tank I've ever cracked open, and probably the worst you've all seen too. But what do you want to bet we can save this thing? You all saw it with your own eyes. So what are we going to do next? Well, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next. We're going to soak the inside of this tank, try to break down some of the rust that's in there. I like to use white vinegar. Yeah. Apple cider vinegar, I know, supposedly has more acid. I've tried both. Guess what? They both do the same darn thing. So if for some reason this white vinegar doesn't cut the mustard, I'll come back tomorrow and try some apple cider. But we're gonna let this soak overnight. I'm assuming, because the petcock is in pretty rough shape and I actually have a new one, I'm assuming it's not going to leak initially, but I'm going to put it over this bucket anyway. I'm thinking that thing's plugged up. So let's go ahead and get some in there and we'll see what happens. Nothing coming out yet. Oh, I guess she's full. Apparently it holds just short of a gallon. We are right up to the brim there. So that's just going to sit and simmer for a while. I'm going to put the gas cap back on. I've got a new gas cap, by the way. So we're going to let that sit overnight. It's probably going to take a few applications. We're probably at some point going to have to put some nuts and bolts in there and agitate it. But surprisingly, aside from what ran over, there's nothing leaking out of this, so that's a good sign. Would have liked to have a little help from Richard on this, but he's been on eBay. He's still looking for a nice muffler. We're still short a muffler for this thing, so he hasn't found anything yet. But if you have one, drop a note down in the comments, and I'd like to talk to you. All right, so let me get this thing tucked away for the night and let it cook, and we'll get on to the next thing here. All right, I kind of want to take things back to the beginning of this video a little bit and just drag you in for a little close-up look at the reason why I probably had to pull this engine out of here. All right, so you can see it's not too terribly bad, but I just figured, you know, it'd be a lot easier to do this frame off restoration. If we took that thing right there out, I'm also gonna freshen up the side covers on this and clean it up just a little bit better. But you know, you got to draw a line in the sand somewhere, right?
We had to draw a line in the sand because we put way too much time and money into this thing to recoup our investment from it. So,
but I think, you know, the line has been drawn, and we're not too far away from finishing this up. Okay, so hopefully you understand where I'm coming from now on that. Richard, what do you think? You don't think anything. He just wants to finish this thing up. So the last thing I'm going to do is, eventually the front end's coming off of this. We're at that point now where we're just going to pull the front end off. I've got all kinds of parts to rebuild the front shocks and everything, so there's no point not to. But in order to do that, we're going to have to crack open the headlight and see what's inside there. So check this out. Let me give you a little tour of what that looks like. All right, if you've never done this, we're about to open Pandora's box when we take this headlight off. Of course, got my JIS screwdriver. Take this screw out the bottom here real quick. That took about a year. All right, let's see if we can pop this thing loose. Oh, and get ready, because we're about to open the box. And there it is. Looks very intimidating, but surprisingly, they've done a really good job of color matching the wires. So I've tore apart several of these. Shouldn't be a problem to put it back together, but it's just a thing that's going to have to happen here, because we're going to rip this front end off and complete the frame off restoration. Okay, well, that probably about does it for today. I guess this is part 4. Hopefully next video we've got some major progress made. We've checked off a lot of things on the checklist today, and I'll be working diligently the upcoming week to get you some new content with some hopefully significant progress. So again, thanks for watching. Click all those buttons below, leave some comments if you think you need to tell me something, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.